Time for a little humor. A businessman boarded a plane to find sitting next to him an elegant woman wearing the largest, most stunning diamond ring he had ever seen. He asked her about it. "This is the Masterson diamond," she said. "It's beautiful, but there's a terrible curse that goes with it." "What's the curse?" the man asked. "Mr. Masterson." It took him a while to get that, folks. A couple drove down a country road for several miles, not saying a word. An earlier discussion had led to an argument, and neither of them wanted to concede their position. As they passed a barnyard of mules, goats, and pigs, the husband asked sarcastically, "Relatives of yours?" "Yes," the wife replied, "in-laws." Speaking of wives, God may have created man before woman, but there's always a rough draft before the master.
Oh, yes.
A couple is planning their 40th anniversary party. She says, "I think I'll wear silver shoes." He, "To match your hair?" "Yes, dear, so I suppose you'll be barefoot." Cha-ching. A distraught senior citizen phoned her doctor's office. "Is it true," she wanted to know, "that the medication you prescribed has to be taken for the rest of my life?" "Yes, I'm afraid so," the doctor told her. There was a moment of silence before the senior lady replied, "I'm wondering then, just how serious is my condition, because the prescription is marked no refills." An older gentleman was on the operating table awaiting surgery, and he insisted that his son, a renowned surgeon, perform the operation. As he was about to get the anesthesia, he asked to speak to his son. "Yes, Dad, what is it?" "Don't be nervous, son. Do your best. And just remember, if it doesn't go well, if something happens to me, your mother is going to come and live with you and your wife."
Oh.
A former sergeant in the Marine Corps took a new job as a high school teacher. Just before the school year started, he injured his back. He was required to wear a plaster cast around the upper part of his body. Fortunately, the cast fit under his shirt and wasn't noticeable. On the first day of class, he found himself assigned to the toughest students in the school. The smart aleck punks, having already heard the new teacher was a former Marine, were leery of him, and he knew that they would be testing his discipline in the classroom. Walking confidently into the rowdy classroom, the new teacher opened the window wide and sat down at his desk. When a strong breeze made his tie flap, he picked up a stapler and stapled the tie to his chest. Dead silence. He had no trouble with discipline the rest of the year. Men, I hate to say this, but I'm sure some of you can identify with this. A husband went to the sheriff's department to report that his wife was missing. "Husband, my wife is missing. She went shopping yesterday and has not come home." "Sergeant, what is her height?" "Husband, gee, I'm not sure. A little over 5 feet tall." "Sergeant, weight?" "Husband, don't know. Not slim, not really fat." "Sergeant, color of eyes?" "Husband, never noticed." "Sergeant, color of hair?" "Husband, changes a couple times a year, maybe dark brown." "Sergeant, what was she wearing?" "Husband, could have been a short skirt or shorts. I don't remember exactly." "Sergeant, what kind of car did she go in?" "Husband, she went in my truck." "Sergeant, what kind of truck was it?" "Husband, brand new 2015 Ford F-150 King Ranch 4x4 with EconoBoost 5.0 V8 engine, special order with manual transmission, custom white matching cover for the bed, custom leather seats, and bubble floor mats, trailering package with gold hitch, DVD with navigation, 21-channel CB radio, 6 cup holders, 4 power outlets, added special alloy wheels, and off-road Michelins. Wife put a small scratch on the driver's side. At this point, the husband started choking up. "Sergeant, don't worry, buddy. We'll find your truck." A judge was interviewing a man regarding his pending divorce and asked, "What are the grounds for your divorce?" The man replied, about 4 acres and a nice little home in the middle of the property with a stream running by. No, the judge said, I mean, what is the foundation of this case? It's made of concrete, brick and mortar, the man responded. I mean, the judge continued, what are your relations like? The man responded, I have an aunt and an uncle living here in town, and so do my wife's parents. The judge said, do you have a real grudge? No, the man replied, we have a 2-car carport and have never really needed one. Please, the judge tried again. Is there any infidelity in your marriage? Yes, the man replied, both my son and daughter have stereo sets. We don't necessarily like the music, but the answer to your question is yes. Finally, in frustration, the judge asked, sir, why do you want a divorce? Oh, I don't want a divorce, he replied. I've never wanted a divorce. My wife does. She claims she's having difficulty communicating with me. Last but not least, a guy sees a sign in front of a house, talking dog for sale. He rings the bell and the owner tells him the dog is in the backyard. The guy goes into the backyard and sees a black mutt just sitting there. You talk, he asks. Yep, the mutt replies. So what's your story? The mutt looks up and says, well, I discovered my gift of talking pretty young, and I wanted to help the government, so I told the CIA about my gift. And in no time, they had me jetting from country to country, sitting in rooms with spies and world leaders, because no one figured a dog would be eavesdropping. I was one of their most valuable spies 8 years running. The jetting around really tired me out, and I knew I wasn't getting any younger, and I wanted to settle down. So I signed up for a job at the airport to do some undercover security work, mostly wandering around near suspicious characters and listening in. I uncovered some incredible dealings there and was awarded a batch of medals, had a wife, a mess of puppies, and now I'm just retired. The guy is amazed. He goes back in and asks the owner what he wants for the dog. The owner says $10. The guy says, this dog is amazing. Why on earth are you selling him so cheap? The owner replies, he's a big liar. He didn't do any of that stuff.